What is going down, faithful? We are back. It's Thursday, and the calm before the storm. Ooh, it's getting eerily close to this big time matchup against the Eagles for the NFC Championship game. It's championship week, baby. We're going to talk about it all. And the San Francisco 49ers being clearly heavy underdogs, according to the media, heading into this week. Let's get into it all right now. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. So, I don't know if you guys have heard, but the San Francisco 49ers are going to have a really hard time winning this game. It's Thursday. So, we've made it through the week. Pretty much. We got Prediction Friday tomorrow. But according to the media, the San Francisco 49ers are the inferior team. They don't really have a shot against this juggernaut in the Philadelphia Eagles. And I find that hilarious. But also, I enjoy it. Honestly, please doubt us. Please doubt the best, most prestigious franchise in NFL history. See how that plays out for you. Unbelievable. But you already know the vibes. Drop an SDS in the chat. Shout out the Sourdough Squad. Smash that like button if you haven't already. We got some stuff to talk about today because we're starting to see picks come out. We're starting to get comments come out. And, highly doubted right now. Apparently, Brock Purdy all of a sudden isn't a good quarterback. The 49ers have somehow less weapons than the Philadelphia Eagles. Apparently, the Eagles' defense is the best defense we've ever seen. So, I'm excited. I'm excited for this matchup. I mean, when you talk about, hey, shout out DJ. Oh, look at that profile picture. What do you got on your head there? Shout out DJ. Smash that like button. But hey, I wouldn't want it any other way. We've got everyone talking. We've got fans talking. We have national media talking. There's a lot of talk because that's what we do heading into these matchups, of course, leading up into the week. But it's getting borderline disrespectful again. And I think, after we just kind of survived that whole week of Cowboys talk and all that good stuff, I don't know. It feels like it's even louder. And also, too, on top of that, Deebo Samuel got the Eagles fans a little riled up by saying Levi's Stadium's louder than Lincoln Financial. And so they're all hyped up now. So I've seen Eagles reporters and them reposting that clip and all the Eagles fans like, oh yeah, we're gonna show them. So Eagles fans are gonna be juiced, ready to go. 49er fans are gonna be juiced, ready to go. I'm really excited to see what the turnout is going to be like in Philadelphia. How many 49er fans are going to show up to this game? It's obviously going to be predominantly Philadelphia fans, but really excited to see how many 49er faithful show Sugar Shane says Eagles D is 24th against the run. Their weakness we can exploit. We'll match well with our D against their offense. 49ers should win. And that's a great point. Uh, Kyle Juszczyk talked about it. Against the Dallas Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers were really trying to take advantage of that Dallas defense on the outside. They were trying to stretch run. They were trying to get, their Zorro concept going. They were trying to really attack the edges. And the Dallas Cowboys had a lot of speed. So they actually switched it up, and they talked about how the players and coaches talk to Kyle Shanahan about, hey, let's attack let's just run it at them, run it straight at their face. The 49ers have really made a huge transition over the past year or two, going from a predominantly outside zone running team to a gap scheme type offense. And gap scheme is power. This is power concepts, old school traps, counter trays, and all the variations that they've run off of those. And when they started pulling those guards, they started pulling the tackles, they started pulling the tight ends and fullbacks, the lanes started to open up. So that's the thing. Like, yes, this defense, we hear about the 70 sacks, right, that the Eagles have. They lead the league in sacks. Okay, but we're not a drop back passing team. We'll drop back and pass it, but that's not our bread and butter. Our bread and butter is to run it at your face and then exploit you with play action pass. And we have a quarterback who can execute play action boot to perfection. So I think the matchup is a lot better than the media is giving the 49ers credit. I think the matchup is a whole lot better than the fans of the Philadelphia Eagles want to admit. And I think it's playing into the San Francisco 49ers' hand. Now, on the other hand, it's going to be a tough matchup, man. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is going to be, we keep the word of the phrase, I guess, whatever you want to say, that I keep using. It's going to be a dogfight. A bunch of pit bulls. You got pit bulls going at each other. The pit bulls, their necks are about this big. They got the block heads. You got the blue nose versus the red nose. Like, these are two pit bulls, like, bred to attack. And it's nothing about this game is going to be easy for either team. So that's why I think right now, when we hear the media talking about, like, oh, the 49ers got no shot, the 49ers are outgunned. They're outmatched. They're on the road. Like, no shot. I'm just like, I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, it's going to be a hard matchup for sure. But to try to bet against the San Francisco 49ers right now, good luck. Because I think this team's ready to go, man. And, just like Sugar Shane's talking about, that there are weaknesses in the armor. And we all understand Kyle Shanahan. We have a fantastic offensive mind who knows how to take advantage of the weaknesses of a defense. So if there's anyone who's going to take advantage of the Eagles defense being 24th against the run and the 49ers being a run first team, who do you think that's going to be? I'm feeling pretty good about it being Kyle Shanahan. So I think it's a lot closer than the media wants to give credit for, to be perfectly honest. But speaking of the run game, we did get some updates today. So 2 days in a row, the San Francisco 49ers have had running backs that did not practice. So their top two dogs, 49ers, Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell. McCaffrey has a calf injury. Elijah Mitchell has a groin injury. Neither two practiced for 2 days in a row. Not the best, right? Like, We want our guys to be ready to go, and we want them to be able to be on the field in some capacity. Deebo Samuel, we found out that he wasn't going to practice yesterday, but then he showed up on the field in a limited fashion. And he's hopping around, jumping around. He looks fine. Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, no practice 2 days in a row. Typically, we don't start sounding the alarm bells until Friday practices. And even so, we've seen guys like Nick Bosa or Trent Williams go without practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and be available for Sunday games. So it's not unheard of. So we're definitely going to be paying attention to tomorrow's practice regarding these two. But we did hear from local beat reporters. I used this tweet from Matt Mayoko, who said, or they basically asked Christian McCaffrey straight up, are you going to play this? Are you going to play in this game, the NFC Championship game against the Eagles? Is there any chance you don't play? He said, zero, zilch, nada. We know what it is. CMC's going to play, man. CMC is going to play, and he's going to play well, and he's going to be another phenomenal piece that helps contribute to a hopeful win over the Philadelphia Eagles. So, all things considered, I think the 49ers are in a pretty good spot right now. We know Charles Omenihu is going to play. I mean, knock on wood, heading into this game, heading into the playoffs, San Francisco 49ers are as healthy as can be. I mean, which is wild considering that the San Francisco 49ers have lost their first string and starting string quarterback. And here we are talking about, hey, this is the healthiest we've ever been. Thank God for Brock Purdy, man. Thank God for that man, because could you imagine? Just like we're like literally sitting here like, look how healthy we are. We're good. We're Gucci. And meanwhile, we're on our third string quarterback because our first two quarterbacks went down with season-ending injuries, and we're just like, hey, look how healthy we are. Shout out Brock Purdy, man. That goes to show like what he has done for us as a fan base. The confidence that he has put into us and instilled into us with this play, that we are looking at this situation right now. This is the healthiest we've been in a deep playoff run since Kyle Shanahan's taken over. And that's with a third string quarterback, because the first two went down with injury. Like we're chilling right now. Shout out Brock, man. Shout out Brock. So we're getting ready for a big time matchup. Now, we've heard it all week. There, you heard Joy Taylor talking about how, the gap between Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts is sizable. It's huge. Like it's insurmountable. Like how much better Jalen Hurts and Brock is than Brock Purdy. But this is the thing, man. And, Dan Orlovsky was talking about this earlier this week. It's something that I try to keep in mind with my evaluations, because as you guys know, I love to evaluate football players. Like, I don't like to talk about football players. I like to evaluate football players. I like to watch with my own two eyes. I like to download traits. I like to and give legitimate personal evaluations of players. And I do have a hell of a lot of respect for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a phenomenal quarterback. I think he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. So I can understand, like, if you just want to like puff out your chest and be like, the gap is huge. Okay, well, one's a rookie. One has been in the league for a while and has had an offense built around him, while Brock Purdy is being thrust into the center of a Kyle Shanahan-led scheme and forced to learn on the fly. And so it's not apples to apples. We're talking about an apples to oranges comparison here. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, yeah, I can admit that Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback right now over Brock Purdy. But thankfully, this is a team sport. Thankfully, there are 11 players on each side of the football, and all of them are required to work in unison and work together in order to accomplish the common goal, which is winning the football game. And Brock Purdy, right now, which with what he is asked to do and like execute, he's operating at one of the highest levels in the NFL right now. So if you want to talk about pure talent, okay, we can have that conversation. But you want to talk about level of play? Brock Purdy is at the top. Brock Purdy is playing as a top 10 quarterback since he's taken over, and no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about that. This man has outperformed Rodgers. He's outperformed Brady. He's outperformed Russell Wilson, Stafford, you name it. He has outperformed them. You could probably make the argument that Brock Purdy has been a top 5 quarterback since he has taken over, and that's as a rookie. So we can talk about, they don't have the same 40 time. They can't throw the ball the same distance. The talent gap is huge. Listen, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great in a draft room when you're trying to stack prospects against each other, but we are not in that moment. We are in the moment as who's executing within the scheme that is asked of them at the highest level. And these two are pretty close. The gap isn't that far. You want to talk about individual assessment and evaluation of talent? Yeah, well, that's a different conversation. You want to talk about who's executing at the highest level? That gap is much closer than people want to admit because he's Mr. Irrelevant. He's a 7th round draft pick. This guy shouldn't be doing this. It's an anomaly. So it can't be him. It's got to be Debo. It's got to be Kittle. It's got to be Trent. Well, it's the talent around him. We know what it is, man. We know what it is. DJ says, check the records Brock has broke this year. Brock is doing things that isn't just great in the context of this year. He's doing things that are great in the context of the entire league. And that's, I think, where the media is missing the mark. That's why I think they're calling him the underdog. That's why they're calling this team the underdog. That's why they're not giving them a chance, is because they see the talent that the Eagles possess, and they have talent. We aren't going to sugarcoat anything. A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Kenneth Gainwell's playing at the best of his career. Houston Gogurt, a.k.a. Dallas Goedert, is playing. He's a good tight end. They have probably the best offensive line in football. They have a complete team. So I understand the credit that they're going to receive. I can understand that. But it's somehow discrediting Brock and what he's done because he's a 7th round draft pick. He's this, he's that, he's the other thing. And that's dangerous to do, in my opinion. And I think that actually feeds into what the 49ers want. And, you know, because also too, we're now at a stage where, with enough of the media talk that has come out, the 49ers are clearly the underdog, which means they're playing with house money. These are some of the picks from earlier today. Clearly, heavily leaning in favor of the Philadelphia Eagles. Adam Rank, Daniel Jeremiah, Colleen Wolfe, Maurice Jones-Drew. I love Maurice Jones-Drew. I love Drew, man. I love MJD. I don't love him right now. Come on, MJD. Where's your Bay love? I know you're a Raider fan deep in your heart. I know you like the Raiders. But come on, man. I know you work for the Rams. Come on, man. So we got 3 picking the 49ers. Okay. Noted. Noted. We'll remember that. You have other morning shows. Again, this is what it's going to be. It's basically, you know, out of every, if there are 4 experts, 3 of them are picking the Eagles. That's basically what it looks like right now. Right? You have Ninkovich, who actually was the only one who picked the 49ers last week. Bart Scott is the only one who picks the 49ers this week. And you got Greeny and Dan Graziano picking the Eagles. So clearly, 49ers are the underdog. They are not being given a chance by anyone to win this game. Marcus Spears coming out saying, "Oh, the 49ers are not. They're at a severe disadvantage to the Eagles. The Eagles are the superior team." Okay, that's fine. That's fine. If that's what you believe, we're for it. But it makes for some great energy. It gives a sense of playing with house money. Like, and I think that makes the 49ers even more dangerous because I think when we talk about and we self scout the San Francisco 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers are their own worst enemy. It's not these other teams. It's the 49ers. When the 49ers lose games, they lose games because they don't execute. They lose games because they created a turnover. They lose because they just simply didn't bring the juice. That's why they lose. It's a very interesting team to cover because it always sounds cliche because when I played football and like all that, you have the mentality that the only team that can beat you is you. Like if we execute, we do our game, we play clean football, we're winning the game 100%. That's not always true, but you try to believe it as much as you can. You try to go into it with that mentality to play the cleanest brand of football you can play. But with this team, it's true. If they just execute, they don't have turnovers, they don't have silly penalties, they play good on all 3 phases, and they do this on, at a consistently they win the game. Like, so it's going to be very interesting to see what we get. But this is the thing. Playoff football is the furthest thing from perfect football. Like typically, and also we've seen it against the Seattle Seahawks. We've seen it last week against the Cowboys. Is it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be adversity. There's going to be ups and downs, and it's how do you withstand that? So that's the other part of it, and I'm looking forward to it. What does Jay Tan says? He said, Brad, talk about the other 4 rookie quarterbacks who were in this position. Their downfall was interceptions. Again, Brock Purdy has been able to stay out of interception trouble. And if he can continue to do that and take care of the football, the San Francisco 49ers will be in a good spot. I mean, if you listen to Steve Young on KNBR, Steve Young was talking about how last weekend Brock Purdy played that game like a veteran. And I think we would all agree with that when we've watched Brock Purdy this year. there's a poise, there's a maturity, there's, as Steve Young would say, there's a force to his game. And Brock Purdy, for the most part, is making the correct reads, the correct decisions, and he's putting his team in a great, great position to win football games, even if it's not pretty. And he has this calm, cool demeanor about him that is, you don't get this from rookies. So I think Brock is built for this moment. I do. And I do think it's wild that it's kind of a similar situation in the sense of like Jalen Hurts versus Brock Purdy in college. These two dueled it out in college. Clearly, Iowa being the severe underdog. Um, Going to Oklahoma, night game in Norman, Oklahoma, 80,000 fans, all Oklahoma fans. Like, it's weird. It's eerily poetic. Like the way this, again, when we've talked about the season that way, like this is a movie type season. Like the script writers couldn't have written it any better. Couldn't have written it any better. Harris says 422 watching, 99 like. Let's get to 200. We can get to 200 in a second. Steve says, Brad, remember when we were looking at 6'7" tight end Chase Allen out of Iowa State? We were watching the wrong Iowa State player. The best part about when we were actually watching Chase Allen was that I did talk about Brock Purdy. I was like, who's this guy? I've talked about this story before because when I was at the combine and I was doing my evaluations, Chase Allen stood out to me as someone who moved really well for his size. And I wanted to see like what I wanted to like learn a little bit more about him. And while watching Chase Allen, I bet I can pull up a live too where I talked about this. I was like, hey, that Brock Purdy kid's pretty good. That Brock Purdy kid looks like someone that Kyle Shanahan would love to have. And actually, after this, I started putting Brock Purdy at the Mr. Irrelevant pick. So after that, we started scouting Chase Allen. All my mock drafts after that had Brock Purdy right there in that Mr. Irrelevant slot. So it's crazy how everything works out because we're like, oh, look at Chase Allen. And while watching Chase Allen, we're like, oh, look at Brock Purdy. Like that kid can sling it. And sure enough, fried bird incoming. 100%. But I'm happy, man. Rome says Philly fans talking reckless. I had to become a menace to Philly society. Uh, yeah, man. 100%. It's gonna be wild, man. So I'm gonna be in Philly. I've never been to Philly before. Um, I've been to Boston before, but obviously completely different places. I'm very interested to see what this environment is going to be like. What the game situation is going to be like. I'm also riding solo into Link. Guarantee you, I'm going to be sitting around a bunch of Eagles fans by myself. So it's going to be very interesting. But man, I'm looking forward to the experience. I hope it's a win. God, I hope it's a win. But I'm definitely looking forward to the experience. It's going to be a wild one, man. This is like talk about storybook. This game is this game has it all. It's got all the hype leading into it. It's got the underdog narratives and tones of this year. You got Eagles fans ultra confident, media ultra confident in the Eagles, and rightfully so. They're a good team. But man, if the 49ers can get past this Eagles team and get into the big dance, start call Disney right now and get the script written. Brock Purdy, what would the name be of the movie for Brock Purdy? I forget. I heard someone say it. I forget exactly who said it. I don't want to steal their credit or steal their name, but someone said the name of the movie would be relevant. And I was like, done. Done. I was like, that feels like a, a pretty solid name for Brock Purdy's movie. I was like, yeah, that works. That would be extremely fitting. Just nice, easy, relevant. I was like, I don't remember who came up with it. I don't remember where I heard it from exactly, but I thought that was pretty good. All right, so we got a little bit of news. I don't know if it's really news. It's a little bit of news. So, as we know, 49ers. Oh, we could talk about this a little bit. It's a good transition into D'Amico Ryans a little bit. So, D'Amico Ryans has been named the Pro Football Writers Assistant Coach of the Year. So, congrats to D'Amico Ryans. I mean, I don't think they're wrong at all. D'Amico Ryans is absolutely worthy of being the NFL Assistant Coach of the Year. And I also do think I think he's hired already. I think he's got a head coaching job, or I think it's locked up. I think the reason why D'Amico Ryans canceled his other there's a lot made of D'Amico canceling a couple interviews. I think it was on the day of the playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys. And of course, it was like spun like, oh, he's focused on winning. He's focused on the game. And I think he's already got the job. I think you're looking at the future head coach of the Denver Broncos. This guy's going to be the Denver Broncos head coach. It was funny because we were talking about it, I think, like a couple weeks ago. When you look at the Denver Broncos defense, they got DJ Jones. They've got K'Wan Williams. They've got Jonas Griffith, all former 49ers. At each level, they have a 49er that they've brought in. So it makes perfect sense for D'Amico Ryans, going from an offensive head coach to a defensive head coach. It's typically how it works. It feels like organizations will ping pong, back and forth between offense and defensive head coach when they're kind of trying to find who fits best for them. You had reports come out earlier today that it's like D'Amico's definitely linked to the Broncos. But also yesterday, Benjamin Albright, who is like, I think he works out of the Broncos facility. He's a NFL insider, but he specifically works with the Broncos. He made one of his tweets. He's like, buy D'Amico Ryan stock ? And he's like, yeah, buy D'Amico Ryan's stock question mark. So I think the arrow is heavily pointed towards D'Amico Ryans being the head coach of the Denver Broncos, and it's a good fit. It makes sense, in my opinion. So I think it's going to happen. So we love D'Amico, and I think someone said it. Yeah, dude, that defense. We saw how difficult that defense was. That defense was great. They just didn't have an offense. The Denver Broncos defense was phenomenal. They just had no offense. If they had if they had Brock Purdy, if the Broncos had Brock Purdy last year, they would have been a playoff team, which is crazy. Yep. And the Jets hired Nathaniel Hackett officially as the OC. Frank Wright hired as the no, not the Colts. He got fired from the Colts. He got hired to Frank Wright. I'm gonna try to beat the chat. Frank Wright got hired to I don't know if I'm no, you guys okay. Javier beat me. Carolina. That's right, Carolina. So we're starting to see the coaching carousel take off. And so that's why I think D'Amico is chilling. That's why I think the Denver Broncos are chilling. Because D'Amico Ryans is going to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos, and they're just going to wait. They're just going to wait for D'Amico to win the Super Bowl, right? But I'm gonna miss D'Amico, man. D'Amico has been such a good coach. Ever since he got here as a linebackers coach, he's developed the best linebackers in the NFL. In Fred Warner, in Dre Greenlaw, Azeez Al-Shaair. Those are his guys. And he's got his hands on them from the beginning. Even Jonas Griffith, who I talked about, undrafted free agent. I was so upset when they traded him because I was like, that's a future starting caliber linebacker that they just traded for a 7th round pick. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, I get it. They wanted to keep Marcel Harris at linebacker, and I was like, that's not the move. They should have absolutely cut Marcel Harris, converted safety to linebacker, and kept Jonas Griffith. They made a terrible mistake there, in my opinion, because Jonas Griffith has been a starter for the Denver Broncos and a very good one at that. Since that occurred, but yeah, it's going to be tough to lose that man, but he's deserving of everything he got. Shout out to D'Amico, man. He could have left last year. Definitely could have left last year. It's going to be interesting to see who fills that spot. Do you think we hire internally? I would imagine. Do we get a Chris? We get a Chris Kosarek. You get Chris Kosarek bump up to DC. You get Daryl Tapp bumped up to defensive line coach. I think Daryl Tapp is a very underrated defense. He's the assistant defensive line coach. I think he would fit right in as it's going to be interesting to see who takes over that DC role, man. I agree Chris doesn't want it either. But I don't know. I don't know who else. I hope Tapp doesn't go with D'Amico. That would suck. I like Tapp a lot. Holland potentially. Clay Kubiak. Vic Fangio. Bring back Vic. Bring back Joe Woods. Kyle will figure something out. I would love to have Fangio back. What would the 49ers do, though? Would they convert back to a 3-4? Could you imagine the 49ers running a 3-4? I don't think they can with Bosa. They got to keep Bosa in the wide 9. Wide 9's working too good. What's Fangio running over there, man? Yep, just like Aponte would say. That's all I think about, man. Aponte's got quotes that are like burned into my brain because he says them so often. So we need the ring. We need the ring for D'Amico. We need the ring for a lot of these guys, man. But I can't wait. This is gonna be this. I just can't get over like thinking about this matchup, man. And just like we're 4 quarters away from a Super Bowl appearance. Like we're 4 quarters away from 2 weeks of nonstop talk about the Super Bowl. Oh God, I've been waiting detail. I've been waiting since 2019. Like I'm like God. Like I would so the Senior Bowl, I'm credentialed for the Senior Bowl, which is next week. I want to skip the Senior Bowl because I want to be covering the San Francisco 49ers getting ready for a Super Bowl. I'm like in the middle of like trying to make this decision. Like if I go straight from Philly, like if they, I'm not even going to say it. If the unfavorable outcome occurs, like going straight to Alabama to the Senior Bowl, or if they win, coming home so I can cover the Super Bowl. This team in the Super Bowl. I'm leaning on the latter. It's going to be a legit game time decision. It's going to be crazy, man. I mean, the script writers need this. Oh, the script writers need this. They need the 49ers versus Chiefs rematch. And I actually love that the 49ers I actually think this would benefit the 49ers that they played the Chiefs this year because the Chiefs got a very watered down version of the 49ers and they got the defense was just out of sorts that game. And again, I don't want to look too far ahead. But if we had to look that far ahead, I would like to see that. Have you guys seen the what soup I think it's like a grocery store had the 49ers Bengals balloons and they're like, "Oh, the script writers letting it leak." But the same thing if the 49ers got the Bengals too, they played the Bengals last year on the road in Cincy and got it done. But that's too far ahead. That's too far ahead. Way too far ahead. Listen to my guy here. Sean, you're a menace. I hope you come back after this game. I know you're coming back if you guys win, of course, but if what we think is going to be the outcome where the 49ers prevail over the big bad Eagles. Oh no, the big bad scary Eagles. I hope you come back. I hope Friday. So Sean, I know you've been really hip to my live schedule this week. So tomorrow, Sean, we do not Victory Friday. We do Prediction Friday, where we're going to make all our predictions. So it'll be a perfect episode for you to be a part of because we'll need some of the counter juju as well. So tomorrow, Prediction Friday. before I head to Philadelphia. Um, I'm taking the red eye to Philly. Whoo! It's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long Friday night. Long. It's actually more like it's gonna be a long Saturday morning for me, but I'm looking forward to it. Man, this game is crazy. This are you guys more nervous about this game or are you more nervous about the Cowboys game? I had this I wasn't like it's hard to explain. Like for whatever reason against and I don't know if it's back to this like being the underdog right now versus like everyone expecting the 49ers to beat the Cowboys. I think because everyone kind of expected the 49ers to beat the Cowboys, I feel like I was a little bit more nervous for that game. I don't know. Like there's just there's some nervous energy heading into that Dallas game. And it's the most I've had all year. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. It was the most nervous energy I had heading into a game all year. I was like, "Oh god, like if we lose to Dallas, I'm gonna just go crawl in a hole and never come out." Uh, but this one, there's a couple butterflies flying around, but it's more like it's more like gargoyles floating around. Like it's more like just hardened, like can't call them butterflies. It's like gargoyles, like flapping around in there. Like they're ready. Like they're ready for like I think my brain is like mentally prepared to like go to Philly and like be in that environment. So I'm not as much nervous. It's more like my the butterflies are like they're like stone gargoyles like floating around in there like ready. I don't know. This is an interesting matchup, man. Interesting matchup. So we'll see. I'm gonna need help with this. I've been thinking about it. I was so you got to tell me where to go to get the Philly cheesesteak. And I was thinking about actually just doing like a just getting like either the top 2 or 3 and then just literally making a video and doing a review of which I think is the best Philly cheesesteak. And of course, sharing it with you. We are the sourdough squad. So it is perfectly fine for us to incorporate food into this program. Um, but I need to figure out like where to go. What are the top 2? What are the top 3 Philly cheesesteak spots? Who, according to the Philadelphians, which is the one to go to? Geno's or Pat's? Are these the top 2? I've seen like 4 I've seen like 4 spots floating around. Tony, I think I've heard of D'Alessandro's before. Is it all just first names? It's our all we got Tony's, we got Luke's, we got Jim's, we got Gino's, we got George, we got Pete's, we got Arnold. Like, is it just all first name spots? Is the best. Okay, Sean says Geno's and Pat's are tourist traps. Hmm. So Tony Luke's, is that one? That's one name. He's got two first names. Ricky Bobby, Tony Luke's. Is that how it works? Yelp. I'm a master Yelper. 100%. I'm a master Yelper. I'll Yelp it. But, we have I think some locals in the chat, so I would love to ask their opinion. Tony Luke's. I think I'm going to go to this Delisandro's place. I've heard of Delisandro's before. So I'm going to try that place. My guy says cheesesteak will be the best thing you see the entire game. That game won't be pleasant. Oh, man. I'm ready for the dog fight, man. Oh, this would be. Should I bring a loaf of sourdough with me for the squad and just be like, hand them a loaf and be like, here, make this the SDS way? And they'll just look at me like I'm crazy and be like, these typical yuppies from San Francisco. Look at these guys. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna definitely have my. I'm gonna definitely not be on a diet for this. So big shocker there. But man, it's gonna be wild. I'm gonna try to go to the invasion. I get into Philadelphia at around 10:30, and I think the invasion starts at 11. I don't know what my timing's gonna be like. But I am gonna try to get to the 49ers invasion that the 49ers are hosting. My guy Nick Clark will be out there hosting that. So I want to pull up on those guys and say what's good to the fam. I don't know. Are any of you guys in the chat going to be at this game, or am I going to be by myself out here? I think Aponte is going to pull up, so that would be cool. No one else going. Oh, amateur draft scout's going to be there. Okay, we got one. Oh, we got two. Devin said he's going to be there. I'm gonna be a lone wolf. Should I bring one of those remember when the Philadelphia Eagles went on their run and their whole thing was being underdogs? Should I wear the wolf mask just to troll? So this is the thing. It's like when I go to football games, like I don't wear red and gold. It's so funny how it worked out, completely unintentional. When I went to the Seattle Seahawks game, I was wearing Seattle colors. When I went to the Cowboys game, I was wearing a blue windbreaker. Completely unintentional. But I essentially went to both playoff games wearing the other team's colors. So I might wear green. I might wear green this time. We'll just kind of blend into the crowd a little bit. Hopefully batteries won't be thrown at me. But it's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. Oh man. I don't think I could change it up. I mean, that's how I treat it. I treat it like I'm going to work. So even though I'm a fan of the 49ers, I'm treating it like I'm covering the Niners. So I'm not trying to go like the most I'll wear is my hat. And, I'll wear a neutral color hat. Like I wear my white residency, I'll wear my gray residency, or I've been wearing this one. This has been a good one. Yeah, he's unfortunately, I would have to put him to work. So we'd probably go to one of these cheesesteak places, and then I'd have to send him in the back to go do some dishes to be able to afford a ticket for two of us. Um, so it's gonna be interesting. I mean, you can call me a traitor all you want, but my record is impeccable wearing not 49ers colors. Let's see. I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm 10-1. No, I'm 11-1 this year. So I've been to 12 games. I'm 11-1. Only one game I wore a jersey, and that was to Seattle. So I gotta bring some of the good juju with me. I'm superstitious. Wear green to the game. I might. A lot of my jackets are green. I'm gonna throw them for a loop. They're gonna be like, he's wearing green and a Niner hat. How do we feel about this? Oh, it's gonna be a good time, man. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wear green. It's the way it's gonna work out. It's just how it's gonna work. So I'm gonna keep doing what I do. You know the vibes, man. I'll take 11-1 record all day. I feel pretty good about that. So I haven't got my ticket. I haven't got my tickets yet, but I'm gonna definitely try to get into the lower bowl. I'm waiting. I'm trying to wait for the tickets to drop a little bit. They typically drop a little bit closer to the game. Um, so where'd I get this hat? So I got this is from the 49ers direct. I thought they had like gotten a special like order from some like outside company. This is straight from the 49ers. So I've actually told them, I'm like, listen, I get asked about this hat more than anything I've ever worn in my life. And I was like, if you guys want to drop this, they would move. So I put the word out. I put the word out to my 49er fam that this hat is in high demand. So I'll let you know if they actually drop it or not. We'll see. But I let them know that a lot of people want this hat. So we'll figure it out. What are we at with likes, huh? What do we get with likes today? Did we hit the 200 mark? Do we get to our 200 like goal? My guy says Philly fans do not scare me. I'm from Stockton trenches. I'd be damn if some fan tries to press me over a football team. Bro, I've been in like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I'm hood or anything like that. Not even close. But I've had friends that are very, they're from the trenches, but they're from the trenches of like East Oakland, and they've taken me to East Oakland, and I've been in, Dirty 30s, Murder Dubs, and I'm just like, this is a different world. So I don't know if anything in Philly will resemble, the Murder Dubs or the Dirty 30s, but uh, I'm not looking for that type of smoke. Not at all. I'm just looking to go watch a football game. Oh, did we hit it? Yeah, we hit it. Let's go. Shout out the Sourdough Squad. Appreciate you guys smashing that like button. Hey man, if you've been into the East, oh, it's nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, respect to you if you come out of that place. Holy crap. I get it. I get the vibes. That place is built different. It's definitely a wild spot. But I appreciate you guys. Hey, the rich ain't to be played with either. The Bay's different, brothers. If you're not from the Bay's different. There are some pockets of the Bay where you do not want to get caught up in. It's nuts. I'm gonna stay out here in the East Bay where it's nice and quiet. But I appreciate all you guys. You know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow will be back for Prediction Friday. So that's when we're going to do a little bit more deep dive into the rosters. We're going to do a little deep dive into our bold takes, our predictions. And then after Prediction Friday, I will be on my way to Philadelphia to represent the red and gold on the road in the NFC Championship game. This will be my second NFC Championship game that I will be attending. And I hope we have one more game to go after that. It's going to be a crazy one. Tomorrow, don't drop. You already know what I'm going to say. Don't drop your score predictions yet. Save those for tomorrow because I'm very interested. This is going to be, I think, the most intriguing score prediction episode of the day because I think it's. I thought it was going to be close last week. There's still a lot of blowouts, but it's going to be interesting to see what we get this week. So tune in tomorrow for our Prediction Friday show. Grab your cookies on the way out for everyone who was here from start to finish. Appreciate you guys as always. Appreciate everyone. Any new subs to the channel. We've been getting a lot more viewers, and I appreciate everyone as always for tapping in. If you haven't subbed yet, make sure you hit that sub button. Join the Sourdough Squad. Appreciate you guys, man. Y'all the best. And we'll be back for Prediction Friday tomorrow. Let's go. You know the vibes. We out of here. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see